I mean, that's the joy of being able to have a one-to-one. We can look at these things together. And all it is fine-tuning, because we all are this one self. Fundamentally, we all are. So you're up in mental activity, trying to work it out. So do you know the difference between mental activity, thinking about something, and directly experiencing something?
Yeah. The session I had with David and with you was basically there's infinite awareness. There's such a sense now in me of, like, I can't mentally picture this, but the fact that we can't name or label what we are
Mm.
tells us that is the infinite, right? That's the biggest clue that
Oh,
you can
I
never
just got
stop.
shivers. Yeah, because it's not an object, is it?
Because it's the infinite.
Yeah. Yeah. So it can't be
Of course you
pinned
can't.
down. You can't put a pin
Right.
in it. It's infinite. It's got no middle. It's got no center. If it's infinite, it has no boundary, so it has no center.
It's the most beautiful thing. There's
Yeah.
not a thing.
Yeah. Then you start to fall in love with yourself. Not the ego identity falling in love with itself. The self's recognizing itself, and there's just love there anyway. It always seemed like a bit of a weird ego-y thing to love yourself.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my goodness, it's just love itself. It's just love. It's just that sense of unity, that sense of wholeness, absolutely content, doesn't need anything.
Oh,
And there's some sort of falling in love with yourself. It's like,
oh,
oh, who put that there? It's just the recognition of what's actually here when we look. Mental activity. Are you going to there?
yeah, because I was thinking, yeah, because I was thinking about it as not me, but I just saying it, yeah,
Ah, because we've been trying to separate till
yeah.
somehow.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's,
But
it's
the one that was always here, was it? It was the one that we thought the appearance of a separate self was just a temporary shaping and patterning of this. There is only fundamentally this. This is all there is. Let's just stay there. This is all there is. Even when it's shaping and patterning as what we label an ego, it's still this.
Jeepers.
Oh, it's so funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
You got it.
So I'm it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. There is only this.
Yeah,
It's universal. It's not a
not a
individual.
me. Yeah,
But we can sort of experience it as, oh, because that I then becomes not sticky anymore. It's a universal I. Everything I've ever
that's
said in
right.
all those videos is going to make sense now. The I is now universal.
Ah,
So we can say I. It's okay to say I. But the I is universal. It's not individual.
what a relief.
Playing in that realm of mental, physical, and emotional, believing in an I that was just a snake. It was actually a rope. Can you get that now? It was believed to be real, an experience of individuality, but it was only the unity experiencing itself as individual. It does take,
Totally.
yeah, at some point we see it clearly. There's just this. And this can't be pinned down, exactly like you said. It sent me into shivers. Can't be pinned down because it's universal. It's infinite. It's impersonal. Very into itself, very intimate. It's just here, isn't it? And it's not apart from what we are. It is what we are. So there's no separation. There's no me and my true nature. No, there's just true nature. We've just been separating everything, dividing everything up with mental activity. But it's
Like,
inherently what you are. I do this all the time because it's like, it's what you are. It's not a
yeah,
part. It is what you,
yeah. I
yes.
never realized that.
That's self-realization.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Been looking for all this time. And we were what we were looking for. Can you see?
yeah.
You were what you were looking for. That's what's so
Unlimited.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Beautiful, isn't it?
it's so beautiful.
Yeah. So
Um,
stay in your heart center. Be careful not to go to mental
mm,
activity. I know you're experiencing it, so it's okay
mm.
because we just want to die to it. It makes sense.
It's yes, it's the most beautiful. Now I'm going to my head. It's the most beautiful thing
It is the most beautiful thing
because
to
it
die
can't be
to.
described.
No, it's what you are.
Uh,
Ah, and it's that relief, isn't it? Oh, you mean it was just this all along, what I was? You just, can you see how our sense of self was just got tangled up in a belief in a separate self I? So whenever we're creating division, we're just looking in the wrong direction.
it's funny they can't even see that anymore.
No,
So
it's dropped away.
it's always gone.
So everything we see is what we are, because it's all appearing in what we are. I don't want to go too fast with you.
Mm,
So there's knowing, there's a sense of just knowing without
mhm,
an individual knower. It's just knowing. And you
mhm.
feel into the knowing. Ah, everything is already known. That's why we don't need to go to the mental activities. That's a limitation. The wisdom is here. The knowing is here. Already complete and whole.
Oh,
I'm so glad we did this one-to-one.
oh man, I'm so glad too. Goodness me.
It was just it was just the one self reaching out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What I was going to ask, and I'll ask it for the
Yeah,
old
yeah, yeah.
self
Because we
that's
can look.
gone,
Yeah, yeah.
is mm, such a worry of thoughts that were limited that I get attached to and try and resist. And I know it's kind of right now that's an abstract thing that doesn't even mean anything anymore, but hooray because
That
um
was the experience. Yeah.
it's just let it wave through. Basically, don't feed, don't resist, don't.
So that's probably you could either there is an awareness of thoughts appearing in what you are. Sorry, I'm laughing because you've got more chance of getting what I'm talking about now.
I do.
There you are.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can just feel into that. There's been an experience of thoughts appearing and then
Mm.
experience of getting pulled into the thoughts. So the question is, do we just, so you can, you're in the same field as me. You can answer these things. We'll look together. So from awareness, there's a sense. So do we just ignore those thoughts?
You know what comes up now is compassion.
Yeah.
Just compassion towards.
It's an innocent mistake in identity. And that little I can just rest its.
Yeah.
So we can say, oh, there's an awareness of thoughts. There's an
Uh,
awareness of the idea of needing to um, allow them to be there. We just bring it all back to there's an awareness of.
right.
And then if it was sticky, you could say that's where the self-inquiry. Well, who um, needs to have a solution to this, to the thought?
Yeah.
Can you find that one?
I think there's nowhere.
There's nothing here. It all falls apart. It's like a house of cards. Okay, so we've got some thoughts. How do we get rid of them? So we're building a little
Yeah.
story out of house of cards. Yes,
Mm.
we've got an eye that wants to regulate its thoughts and not get caught up in them. Then I say, okay, where is this eye? We can't find it. So the house
Yeah.
of cards falls because this eye doesn't exist. The eye that we're creating a story around that's got to control it doesn't exist. So much easier to see now. I'm just going to let the cat exit
Yeah,
scratch.
of course.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness, so much, Colin. I just I
Oh,
feel
such a
such
relief.
I feel it's relief and I feel such
Yes.
joy because I realize I am the infinite consciousness.
Yeah.
Oh, Colin, thank you.
You're free. Oh, I was like, I
Wow.
want to say hi. It's like I'm saying hi to myself now
Yeah.
because there's no separation. Where do I end and where do you begin? We're fundamentally the same thing, appearing as two things, but we're
Wow.
fundamentally the same one thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Now all it is exploring what's actually here. That's it. You just play. You're just like, oh, okay, so is this? Something might appear, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. There was a thought, and there was a pull into that. What was that? Ah, hang on. I know there's only one thing here, and you turn towards your direct experience of just this. Okay, so there's just this, but yet that was appearing. Oh, so it's just was appearing in what I am, and it's like an invitation to experience a separate self experience, but there's no separate self. That's what I love all the time when I'm on the call.
Yeah, of course.
I'm trying to explain. It's like you're talking about a tea party. I'm saying what's in my cup. I've got some wine. It's mulled wine. It's nice and hot. Really, there's nothing in the cup. So you can see it's a little bit like I'm playing
Yeah.
make-believe with everybody. We're talking very seriously about this eye that just
Yeah.
sometimes I just laugh because I know it doesn't exist, but I have to talk very seriously to people about it
That's
because
right.
it's like we're
That's
walking
right.
them home to realize the eye never existed. It's the rope and the snake. It appeared as a snake. We're going, yes, but there's a snake. There's a snake. Just look. No, I'm not looking. It's a snake. It's definitely a snake. And you look, it's a rope. It's an illusion. The eye is an appearance in what we are. But we're going, no, there's an eye. There's an eye. There's an eye. And I'm like, okay, let's have a look. Is there an eye? And what they do is they look in self-inquiry and they go, oh, there's no eye. But when I is the next sentence that comes out because they're still believing it's a snake. They're still believing
That,
it's an eye. Can you see
that
that?
was me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those buts are born out of the belief in an eye still. So my job is to show people there is no eye. Sometimes it's a slow walk home and sometimes it just drops. Sometimes it takes to be really frustrated and fed up with the whole thing to drop it. Quite often. The suffering has to get more and more intense before we give up the game.
And that's been me. And I just think there's something, it's just blows your mind because
Yeah,
it's,
it does blow your mind because the mind can't grasp it.
no,
So there's just space up there. It's like somebody switched the lights on. It's like, oh, hang on a minute. It's like for me, it feels like the dimmer switch has gone up and I've just got light in my head.
yeah,
It's just filled with light now. Oh, it's just very bright.
you kind of think, how did I ever not see this or
Because it's so
bought
obvious
into
when you
it?
see it.
Mm,
Yeah. How did we
mm.
miss it? Because it's what we are. How did we miss what we are, what we fundamentally are? It's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Amazing. So close, we miss it. I mean, all of those pointers are so good, but when you're believing in an eye, you're just not getting it because you're already in that second a secondary position. Secondary position doesn't actually exist, but that's the
Yeah.
experience we're having. I need to get home. I need to find my true nature. True nature is the one that's the foundation of everything, of all of the dance, of separation.
Yeah.
It's, so that's
Yeah.
why when David says, well, the thoughts are appearing, you're fueling the thoughts because there's only this. It's
Yeah.
fueling by taking delivery of a thought, saying, yes, there's an I here. That's my thought. I'm not there yet. We
Uh,
fuel that thought and we have that experience.
uh,
But I'm not there yet. So that's because you're believing yourself to be an I that thought belongs to.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean we don't fall asleep again, even though
Mhm.
and of course, you know this at this point, who's falling asleep?
Yeah.
Nobody is. So there'll be an experience. Yeah, exactly. Because it's really important to see that. So there'll be an experience of falling asleep, but there is actually nobody falling asleep. So the trick is, this is the second course that I'm planning on doing. The trick is to keep turning towards the truth. Keep turning
Yes.
towards the truth so the false can't dance anymore. So if it
Yeah.
appears, you see it. Oh, that's interesting. You don't get invested in it. There's no separate eye that's got to clean itself up.
Mm.
The what do they call it? The becoming or what do they call it? I can't even think what it's called. The process of, because so they'll say, okay, so you've woken up to the truth of your being, but now there's a process of seeing it clearly. I mean, you've seen it clearly, but what happens
Mhm.
is we tend to just have an experience of falling asleep, but nobody actually falls asleep to it because
Mhm.
that one doesn't exist.
Mhm.
So the trick is to see that this one doesn't exist. So all you do is you look at what's appearing. You don't get
Mhm.
invested in that. Oh, there's an I that's got to clear up all its thoughts. No, there's no I.
Mhm.
But what there is there's as if the fan's been unplugged, but it's still spinning. So these things,
Mhm.
the I thoughts are still going to be offered up. So we just keep looking at the false, looking at what's appearing, let's say, because there's actual false I.
Mhm.
So we just keep looking at what appears. What there is tendencies, there are patterns of thoughts that are still playing out, that have played out over and over again. So there's still these beliefs, but they don't belong to anybody.
Mhm.
I can't say that to everybody because if you've not seen through, you can get very annoyed with me.
That's
Oh,
brilliant.
it's brilliant, isn't it? When you see it that clearly.
Ah,
You're free. Can you see how you're free from the thoughts, the experience of an I? So let's feel into that going to work again.
mhm.
Who's going to work? So there's an experience of going to work. There's an experience of a busy life. But who's that happening to? Just this. That's ultimately free, fundamentally free of all
Mm.
of the coming and goings at work. So you can just
Mm.
remain in being. And
Mm.
that relief of not getting caught up in that, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got all this work. Da, da, da.
Mm. Mm.
There's still going to be work, there's still deadlines, there's still bills to pay. But you're not suffering
That's right.
and you're working from wisdom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rather than this fatigued individual who's just,
Yeah. Because
so tired.
it's so
Mm.
the situation for some time remains the same. There is work,
Mhm.
there's busyness, but there's no sufferer because
Mm.
that's the exhausting one. So there's a lot of work. That it's just a fact. There's a lot of work to do.
Mhm.
Or there's I've got so much work. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. It's so tiring. How am I going to get it
Mm.
all done?
Mm.
I'm so overworked now. I can't sleep. Da, da, da. So it's
Mm.
suffering. There's an I
Mm.
that's suffering. When in reality, there's just a lot of work to do.
Mm. Yeah.
So there is suffering appearing, but there's no sufferer. Thoughts create the sufferer. Thoughts about the situation. Situation remains the same, but there's no sufferer. And not saying that those suffering thoughts can appear, but you recognize that they're just appearing to this formless, infinite one.
So would you, to just plug back into the infinite, would you just,
Okay, be careful of that. Plug back
okay.
into who's plugging back into the infinite? You are the
Oh,
infinite.
oh, of
It's
course.
okay. You're just creating a little bit of separation. It's okay.
Yes, no, good,
Yeah.
good catch.
It's just the habit of yeah, of just catching yourself where you're creating division.
Because it's being, it's not, it's being and knowing rather
You
than,
are it. Yeah.
yeah.
So what there is a tendency is to actually plug into mental activity. Is
Mm,
for this infinite to have a limited experience of mental, physical, and emotional I. So you never ever unplug from the infinite. You are the infinite,
oh,
fundamentally.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so relaxing when you feel into it. So
Oh,
such a relief to know you're not that separate self I. It's just an experience in what you are. So if you do experience it, you're like, oh, that's interesting. I was just experiencing individuality. And you turn and look or become aware of what's aware or however it's easy for you. Rest in being. I mean, you never leave being. This is what becomes all very interesting. We've got this terminology, but it is quite misleading because when we say you rest in being, well, you are being. It's almost like this walk home to realize nobody left home.
mm.
It was just an experience we were having.
And that's where David, when I spoke to him, he talked about existence being a big key to it all.
Yeah.
You exist as being.
You just feel there's just existence, isn't there?
Yeah.
Or sort of like it's self-aware. It's just aware. There's not an I that's aware. It's just aware, just awake.
Ah, no.
Yeah.
Because it's the infinite. Because it's the infinite, you can't say more than that, do more than that. Be yeah.
And you can't, like you say, you can't pin it down. That's why it's the Tao that cannot be spoken about.
Oh,
You can
right.
just be it. You are it. And it's rested. It's whole, it's complete, it doesn't need anything. You know, the separate self is constantly looking outside of itself to complete itself, to feel whole because it's looking in the wrong direction. It's looking in limitation towards the got to get, got to get. I think that was the key for you to get to unplug from that feeling like you've got to get something. There's something you need. That's why I took you to the journey home, like you've journeyed. And there's that
That
moment where you don't have to do anything. There's nothing to get. You're just being. And if you
I was
tune
but
into that, yeah, sorry.
sorry, please. And if you tune into that, you were saying,
Um, you're in that, you're already whole and complete. There's nothing you need to get because you've done it.
right.
Anything that you thought was needed to be done is over.
I was just gonna add that I was biting my lip because when I was 17, I read the Tao Te Ching. And I just wrestled over those words over and over. I just couldn't understand them. And you just brought it home for me. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Colette. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're very
Wow.
welcome. So glad we did that.
It's lovely. And I would like to see you again because I feel like, we've kind of, how to say this? Yeah, I understand now, but
Yeah.
there's more to this. So
Yeah. I mean, you're fully
I'll
that. You're
mm,
fully it. You can't, it's not like you deepen in it because you're fully it. But what happens is there's this sort of dance that still happens. So we can talk about this um, deepening. But in reality, that is in the world of duality, because we can't get any more what we are. But there will be an experience of deepening. There will be an experience of seeing more and more clearly. So I can now talk about it so much more clearly than I could when I just a week after when I spoke to David. I was just excited, because you're just suddenly like, oh my goodness, what I've been looking for is here. So it's like, and each day I get to see it more clearly. So it reveals itself to itself, it just gets clearer and clearer. Feeling into the transient nature of the coming and going of thoughts. If we feel into the flow of them rather than resist them and not creating any separation. So before it's been this sense of, we'll just allow, yeah, I mean, that's valid. Just allow them to be there. They're just appearing. And in that open space, we just allow them to be there. But I sort of had a deeper seeing of that the thoughts, feelings, and emotions are coming and going. But they're actually so transient that you can just see that they just come and go. So you feel into this coming and going. So it doesn't matter that they're coming and going. Who cares that they're coming and going? Who needs to get rid of them? Who needs to control them? Who needs to do anything with them? We're just fluid. That's so nice, isn't it? It's my new
Wonderful.
thing. Yeah, you get
It's
that.
wonderful.
Because then we've got nothing to do. We don't have to do anything with them.
Because we're the infinite being. Doesn't matter.
No. So
Oh,
there was still that subtle inner allowing them to be there, not which is all valid on the stepping stones home, but actually we can just knock it. It's like you just knock it away completely and see that, they're just coming and going. They're just transient and feeling into that flow. They're nothing. They're just wisps of nothing.
but here you're really talking about Christ consciousness now. That to me is the ultimate, which is you can be in the world and not of it, and
Yeah.
be that beautiful light, and that's just what you are, and that's it. That's Christ to me.
Mm.
Christ conscious, whatever, not religious, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, transcending. Yeah.
But fully sort of not denying the expression, the unique expression. Then the
Mm-hmm.
unique expression is just totally free.
Mm.
Walking in the
Mm.
world awake. Like you embody the clear seeing. And
Mm.
that's when you become an expression of the clear seeing.
Mm. Oh, I'm so grateful.
You're very welcome.
It's only taken me all this time. All this time.
And you're always it. It's what you are. We just have this idea we've got to get rid of what we are because
Right.
we feel like that's wrong, this ego self, but it's because we were identified with the ego self. We're not the ego. The ego doesn't exist. It's not an actual thing. It's just an experience. It's just a mistaken identity, as David would say.
That's right. I've been learning that we're not even here. That we're only in the infinite
Yeah. All of
all
this is an
along.
appearance,
Mm.
like a tea party. But there's no denying that there's this.
Right.
I mean, that's why it's just so wondrous in a way. It's like, wow, who put all this here? Did I? The infinite put all this here. This, and it can only ever be made out of what we are. There's
Yeah.
nothing else. And yet you can go to dinner and with a few friends and have a very normal separate self experience, knowing there's no separate self. You don't think about it anymore. You don't need to. I mean, it is a bit odd when I remember first going out for like coffee with girlfriends or a girlfriend. And so sitting there looking at them thinking, oh my God, what actually is here? This is just bizarre. And then you see through it all, and then it all just becomes quite normal. You just experience how you did before, but you don't get caught up in anything. You don't suffer.
Mm.
But for me, I think recognize, it's because it's to attend to what's been seen. I think that's
Mm.
what I feel was important.
Mm.
Not to then go, oh, not to then try and work out the dream.
Yeah.
Because the more you're then playing in the weeds of the mind and trying to sort it all out, well, hang on, what's that there? You're just going back into got to get, need to know, you know. So no agenda was a really good pointer, right? That just spontaneously came to me. There's no agenda. There's no
Mm-hmm.
separate agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's nobody that needs to know anything because we can,
Right.
yeah, it's freedom again, isn't it? That's instant freedom. So there's nothing that I need to know. There's nobody that needs to know anything.
Mm. That's a relief.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's just a resonance with truth.
Mm. Yeah. Yes.
I think that's what drew me to David, the resonance of truth. Yet
Mm-hmm.
he's just authentic.
Yes.
He's not trying to convince you of anything. He's just saying, have you had a look at this?
Yeah.
If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, that's okay.
Mm.
Shall I switch the recording off?
That's amazing.